Klobuchar. Senator Tillis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I apologize for not being here sooner. I am under the weather. I have tested. I do not have COVID, but I've wanted to make sure the room was cleared before I came in to speak. But this is clearly a hearing I needed to come to based on the work that we do on the Intellectual Property Subcommittee. I have been watching the hearing. I want to associate myself with the comments from my chair and colleague on the Intellectual Property Subcommittee, Senator Coons. I am a really boring person, because I really try to do my best to not be sensational, to be fact-based, to drive my decisions. It's one of the reasons why I'm shocked that I've actually won the elections that I've run, because I tend to want to get into the nitty-gritty details. So I'm only going to spend a few minutes, and then hopefully, you need to get that? Kidding. He's my staff. I want to talk, number one, the Inflation Reduction Act was heralded as a great thing. There are actually some good things in the Inflation Reduction Act. I don't necessarily hear a lot of people lauding the fact that we've had a double-digit reduction in small molecule research, and we've actually even had board meetings where investors have been told we're de-emphasizing this. Does anybody disagree that the Inflation Reduction Act, the decisions in there around drug pricing, does anybody think that there isn't a nexus between that and the reduction in small molecule research? And of course, I'm going to first go to the person who's from North Carolina here. Professor.
So thank you for that question. I'm so glad you followed on from Senator Klobuchar on that question. I believe that small molecules need greater incentives, and the way to do that is to establish parity between small molecules.
I understand that, but
I'm
getting to the fundamental question. Do you agree or disagree that there appears to be a nexus between the well-intentioned drug pricing policies in the Inflation Reduction Act and a reduction in investment in small molecules?
So I have no idea why the IRA limited small molecules
Mossoff,
to 9 years versus 13 years for biologics.
I think it makes complete sense that if you impose what is essentially effectively a price control system on the sale of drugs, that price controls destroy and undermine markets. This is well established.
Can I ask you more, Ms. Ulrich? We saw drug prices listed here, and they're unacceptably high, but is that a drug price that was set by the pharmaceutical company, or is that what happens through the sausage meal value chain that starts with an investigational, a promising compound, an investigational new drug, clinical trial monitoring, manufacturing, pharmacy benefit managers, insurance companies, doctors, and a patient? Which one of those is true? A big bad pharmaceutical company sets a price, or that whole sausage factory occurs before you know what the price is?
Well, thank you, Senator Tillis. We would agree that there is a large sausage-making process, but largely.
So if you want the sausage to taste differently, you got to have all the components in the value chain at the table, right?
That's right.
So how on earth can we give a pass to the pharmacy benefit managers when we're taking a look at the end price of a drug and try to figure out why it cost what it cost, right? Now, the other thing, and Mr. Mitchell, I wish you the very best. I have, you've got a more aggressive disease, but I too have an incurable, potentially fatal disease that I don't have to manage with drugs now, but I understand a modicum of what you're going through, and I'm sure it must be challenging for you and your family. But I do believe that there was a point made here that's very important. The price of that drug through your healthcare system that's not available on a formulary in other countries is zero, and the reason for that is because you can't get the drug. Now, I know you answered to that question that there are certain jurisdictions where you do have access to it, but there are some where you don't. Again, trying to get back to the facts, folks, we can't say we want to be just like fill-in-the-blank country if fill-in-the-blank country doesn't give you that an option through their single-payer health system.
I think
then you come here.
Senator Tillis, to remember that we use formularies in this country.
Yep.
Most employer-provided plans use formularies. The VA uses a formulary.
I agree. I'm getting more to the fact, I think we're being simplistic when we say we want to be just like fill in the blank. If we want to be just like fill in the blank, then let's have our litigation systems just like other countries. Let's have medical malpractice policies very similar. There are so many things that make us dissimilar that we've just got to be realistic about how far we're willing to go. But more importantly, I've been here for 10 years. The substance of this hearing is not materially different than the substance of hearings that I had in my first Congress here. So why is it? You all make great points, and I agree with a lot of what you say. I agree with qualifications on other ones. I wanted to talk about the IMAC, for example, Professor Mossop. I'm not going to go too far over my time. I know I'm extending the hearing. But just getting data from the IMAC to a point. I'm trying to get the U.S. PTO and the FDA just to take that information, distill it into something meaningful, because I believe today, and Professor, I think we may disagree, that people are using it conveniently to build their case. But look, folks, I've been here for 10 years now. We're not making progress. If anything, we've taken steps back because of well-intentioned provisions in the Inflation Reduction Act. We at least know that we are reducing incentives to invest and take risk. The majority of these projects, I was in the tech space, so we knew that when we made them, I was in research and development, so we knew that the majority of the ones that we're going forward with were going to be successful. It was just a technological change for products that we were going to make commercially available. Some of these things are billion-dollar investments that get put on ice after a while. I'm thinking about the much publicized Alzheimer's drug. I don't want to reduce innovation in this country because people's lives are in a balance, potentially a cure for the disease that you're going through, a cure for the disease that I'm challenged with. And so I feel very, very strongly that we need to stop talking past each other, finding one link in the value chain that we naively think is the way you solve this problem, and all agree that there are ways to increase availability and decrease the cost of prescription drugs, but it's not the simplistic approach to taking only one link in the chain at a time. And I would love, Mr. Chair, to find a damn drug that I could put up there that everybody is demonizing and start from the beginning, the entire investment, the whole history of the patent protection for that drug, the end user price, so that we could really start getting past these lovely discussions we have once a Congress, maybe twice a Congress, and into something meaningful that helps the patient, who is the only person I care about. How we can save more of you, how we can do it on a more affordable basis, and we've got to start getting people to stop talking past each other to get it done. Or, Mr. Chair, I look forward to the next Congress having a hearing that's substantially the same information with substantially no progress. We've only taken steps back in the 10 years that I've been here. We haven't really made major leaps forward. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.